All right, so you've seen it all over social media, your favorite influencers have been there, and you're wondering, is the trek to Grutas de Toronto actually worth it? So we went just a couple months ago, and we're here to give you the absolute real on what it's like, how to get there, what the experience, who it's for, and whether it's overhyped or not. So on our last scouting trip to La Ciudad de Mexico, prior to moving here with the kids, Justin and I came by ourselves and we decided to get away and take a fun day trip to Grutas de Toronto. We decided to take a guided tour. I'll leave the information for the exact tour that we did down in the bio, and it was absolutely perfect. They picked us up super early at crack of dawn, but they took care of everything, and so we were able to have a great time.
It is 5 a.m., 5:15, and we are walking to the site to meet up with our tour so that we can do the hot springs today. So it's like a few hours. Was it like 6 hours?
To get there?
Yeah.
No, it's like 4.
Oh, it's like 4 hours from the city.
3, I think 3 if they drive quickly.
They drive quickly. 3 if they don't care about our lives.
The ride is really scenic. It's gorgeous. There are all these mountains. As you're going through the state of Hidalgo, you get to pass through like really small, quaint local communities. There's a stop for eating, and then you can also like purchase swimwear if you, like me, just simply did not pack a swimsuit because YOLO. You can rent water shoes, but they take care of your lunch. They take care of parking, they take care of entry costs, all of that good stuff. They give you like water for a water bottle and a cute little backpack for the day on the tour that we did. So it's very much like show up with your bare minimum, right? You maybe a swimsuit under your clothes, you're good to go. If you want to bring like goggles or something extra like that, it's up to you, but we didn't feel like we needed it. So the whole area for Grutas de Toronto is actually owned by the local municipality. It's managed by Los Ejidos San Cristobal and La Mesa. So basically what this means is that the local community around Grutas de Toronto actually gets to maintain ownership over the land, ownership over everything that goes into like preserving and taking care of it, and also self-determination as far as like the profits, where the money goes, spending, and all of that good stuff. And personally, I think this is fantastic. We love to see local people being able to maintain control over their resources, because there are many places in the world where something like this that draws in so many tourists a year would have already been just completely overtaken. So we love to see it part of the people. Toronto is not its real name. Back in 1975, a newspaper, likely English speaking, called these caves Tolantongo instead of their actual name, which is Tonaltongo. So it seems like a little thing, but I think this is also really interesting because this is just part of like, I don't know, the history and the culture. These are things that when you do get like a good guide and you go on a good tour and you have like a good experience, you learn and you're able to bring this back. We love learning about places. It's one thing to show up somewhere like Grutas de Toronto and get all these beautiful pictures and splash around in the water and have a good time. And it's another thing to get to learn these cool facts like that's actually a misnomer. It's not its name. It's managed and run by like local people that basically have their whole community set up like a co-op, which is just so amazing and fantastic and incredible to me, and all of this other stuff. So I just think that history is fantastic, and we got so much of this on the ride up there. Okay, so we were picked up early. We went ahead and ate. We stopped on the way to get a swimsuit, water shoes, all of that good stuff, and then we headed to the park. So the first thing that you see when you come like down into the park is the pools, which are probably like the most famous and the thing that you're most familiar with for Grutas de Toronto. And there are 2 sections to the pool. So we started with like the larger pools, and then there's a collection of smaller pools. Now, the higher that you are up on like the hillside for the pools, the warmer the water is going to be. I will say we were here in the winter time. It was like beginning of December, late November, and the water wasn't quite as warm as I wanted it to be. I thought it was gonna be more like, hot tub, jacuzzi temperature, and it was sort of more like nice warm bath temperature. So if you're expecting it to be really, really hot, I'd make sure to go at a time where like the weather actually supports that and not the dead of winter like us, obviously. But what's really cool to point out here is like the views from the pool are insane. They're gorgeous, y'all. I'm talking like mountains, skies, trees, valley. It's absolutely beautiful. So this is a great spot to, of course, sit and soak and enjoy the water and all of that, but also like the viewpoints are just so pretty. They're so pretty. I feel like the mountains in Mexico are like slept on and like underrated, but here you get to enjoy like that water feature and the mountain feature, and it's just chef's kiss. It's beautiful. Aside from the pools, which are arguably like the most famous thing about Grutas de Tondogo, right? There's also the river. There are 2 pools to inside of the cave area. So there's a big cave that has this like incredible waterfall, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So you can go into the cave. It's super warm in there because it's closer to like the, I don't know, geothermal output or wherever the water comes from underground, right? So the caves are super warm. They're nice and hot. Love the temperature there, no complaints. In the river, y'all, the current is so strong. Like the current dog walked me. It was embarrassing. I used to have a like biometric tracking ring, like an O-ring, and I completely lost it. Like the current ripped it off. It took off like the gel of my nail polish. It was so bad, but it was also cool and really gorgeous. So you have this whole area that is set up for the pools. You have like the river area, and then there's also campgrounds. So there's a hotel on site, but the hotel does not take reservations. So you can actually come to camp. So the camping area is really cool. People set up tents. There's like a little campground. It's a whole thing in case you want to like stay the night or late into the evening or whatever. I think that's wonderful. And then you also have, of course, the river and then the cave. So there's like a whole area, and there's even like little like hiking areas around there. So when we talk about like Grutas de Tondogo, a lot of people are just like, oh, the pools, the pools, the pools. And the pools are really cool. The pools are neat. The pools are incredible, but don't lose sight of the fact that there's actually like so much to see and do there, right? They have areas for food. They have areas where they serve drinks. So if you want to grab like a margarita and a elote, you can totally do that. And our tour guide, actually, we were served lunch like on a little bench picnicking area down by the river before getting in. So that was a lot of fun. There's a whole lot to do here. I'll see if I can't find like a whole map of the place, but when we got there, I was shocked that it was so huge because again, when you get little bites of this stuff, like on social media, the only thing that you're going to see is the pools, which are cool, but totally not all there is there. One thing that you'll notice about the water at Tondogo, particularly the river, is that it's this gorgeous, like powdery, milky blue color. This is because the source of the water is actually near like a mining site, like it's coming from in the cave. So there's a lot of, I think it's calcium and magnesium that are in the water that give it this like just dreamy milky color. All right, so who's gonna enjoy Grutas de Tondogo, and is it worth all the hype? The first thing I'll say is that we saw a nice mix of locals and tourists, which is always something that I love to see. Anywhere the locals are going to be, I want to be there too. They know what's going on. And surprisingly, we saw like a lot of children, families. We saw a lot of elderly people. I did see people there that had like walkers and even other like accessibility aids, which was kind of surprising to me. So I guess there are like slopes and places where you can access at least the caves. So I'm not sure if the pools are really set up for that, but like the caves and the water there, definitely so. So it looks like, from what I've observed, Grutas de Tondogo is for everyone. If you want to go ahead. Like I'm talking like little bitty babies and like very old people, whole spectrum of individuals. I do think that different parts of the water park are going to be better or worse for different people. So I think the cave is going to be like the most accessible area because you can just kind of like walk right in. It's pretty shallow, and on the front end, like there's not too heavy of a current. I would stay away from the river if you're small children, if you have any sort of like mobility or accessibility concerns, just because like the current is so strong. Like, and again, I'm a Florida person, so I take it seriously. The current is very, very strong. Be careful. And then I think for the pools, just because there's a lot of like climbing in and climbing out, we saw kids in the pools. But again, I think that's sort of like just an accessibility thing with the pool. So admission to Grutas de Tondogo is $200 per person. I believe kids are free, and then it's like $30 per vehicle, and each of those is for the day, and that's in Mexican pesos. For me, it was definitely worth it. I would love to go back, especially when the weather is warmer, because again, we went when it was like kind of chilly, so I feel like I didn't get like the full experience, but I definitely don't think it's overhyped. I do think if you're going on like a Saturday and it's crowded, you're probably not going to get like all the pictures and like cool videos and stuff like that you want, but I definitely think it's worth going. And again, especially because it's so much more than just the pools. So go and enjoy the pools and get your cute pictures and put those in your stories and on your feed and all that good stuff, you know, do you. But also don't forget to check out the caves and check out the river and eat some of the local food and have a great time and sleep on the way there if you do go with the guide, because they pick you up super, super early. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you have any questions or any other comments about Grutas de Tontogo, feel free to drop them below, and we'll see y'all next time.